So you've successfully done the market launch of your podcast. I'm so thrilled for you, and I'm so excited for you. This has been quite a roller coaster. And I'm very honored that I'm in a small part of it. So there are a few things that we need to talk about with regards to what's next, because I'm sure a bunch of you guys are asking, okay, so it's done. Our podcast is now out in the public. We created hype around it. What's next? So fundamentally, there are three things that I want you to take into consideration. All right. The first one is I want you to honestly just reflect on the fact that you are doing something so incredible. You are sharing your voice and you are sharing your stories, whether these may be inspirational, whether these may be things that are business intelligence oriented, whether these things may be horror stories, but you are sharing your voice to the world and you don't know who is sitting on the other side and how much it means to them. I cannot tell you how many podcasters are out there that don't know the special place that they hold in my heart and how much they have fundamentally changed my life. And, your podcast is going to be that for somebody. And if your podcast is changing anybody's life in any fundamental way, and even if your podcast is a funny podcast, it's a horror podcast, and people are using it as a distraction, or they're using it for, something else, there are people on the other side that will be tuning in and will be impacted by what you're doing. And the fact that you're doing it and you're putting yourself out there is a very scary thing, and you should take note of that and be appreciative of yourself with regards to that. So that's the first thing. Now, the second thing is that what you need to really focus on is going back to the fundamentals at the start of this course when we came up with your consistency and the scheduling of your episodes. One of the most important things to take note of is the fact that the relationship between the listener and the creator is a very strong and emotional one. A lot of people call podcasts theater of the mind because it's a medium where you and the listener are actually creating together. You are telling stories and you're sharing your voice in an audio format, and they are imagining the show in an imagery format in their minds. So you're actually co-hosting every single episode with the listener that's sitting on the other side. And this is why it's very important to be consistent with your show. You have to make sure that whatever schedule that you've chosen to release your episodes, that you're sticking to that schedule. In addition to this, what we've covered over the course of the last 2 chapters with regards to marketing, it's a lot of rinse and repeat of just that, but at a lower scale. So instead of going full throttle with everything, you just need to continue to basically do a bunch of the same stuff, which is be engaging on the groups for you to, continue to write on your LinkedIn newsletter every time a new episode comes out. There are testimonials that are coming out for your show. Continue to give thanks to people for the fact that they are giving you these testimonials and that you really appreciate them. If you are creating your show and you're getting listenership on it, make sure to also talk about other podcasters and make it seem collaborative, like a family, and try to get them on your show. And, hopefully you can also be on their show so that both of you can then cross-pollinate across each other. Make sure that you, at the end of every season, can also once again create a bonus episode that is a gratitude-based episode. So it's a bunch of just picking the right things that work for you from the last 2 chapters, which are fairly heavy, and utilizing that as you're moving through this cadence of your show. So it's not just the cadence of episodes, but it's also the cadence of marketing. All right. So continue to do a bunch of this stuff at a lower level when it comes to the marketing stuff. But make sure that you're not putting in that effort. Like, make sure that you don't begin to avoid that. So that's the second thing. And then the third thing is you need to now track your performance. And to track your performance, you need to go and actually study your analytics. Luckily, within the Hubhopper ecosystem, when you enter Hubhopper, on the left-hand side bar, you will see the analytics tab. And here you'll be able to find out everything about your listeners. So you'll be able to find out where people are listening, what sorts of devices they're listening on. You'll be able to find out which streaming platforms are working the best for you. You'll be able to find out geographically, even at a state level, etc., how people are listening, and a whole lot more that you can find out with regards to your listeners. And try to look at that information and take actionable insight out of it. We've created a bunch of different resources that you can check out in our blog section for you to see across each specific chart within the analytics section, what is the significance of that chart. If I was to tell you a couple of things, and if you're not a very, you're not a person that's very focused on data and you only wanted to focus on a couple of things, what I would focus on is looking at your episode growth, right, in terms of consumption. So all you want to be focusing on is seeing, is my last episode getting less streams, downloads than my current episode? And is the one before that getting less than the last one? And if you're moving in a positive progression, things are going in the right way. And that's a very good thing for you. And if things aren't going in the right way, it's not a problem. All you need to do is reassess. Maybe the type of episode that you're creating didn't engage people just as well as the previous one. But this is what you need to consistently be looking at, which is whether you're sort of moving upwards in a trend or are you moving downwards in a trend in terms of how your episodes are performing one against another. This also is a very good marker for retention, because what's happening is that you're actually accumulating listeners. So if you have more streams that are happening on episode 4 than episode 3, it's very possible that you're actually getting a lot of people who subscribed from episode 3 now coming to episode 4, and now they're becoming loyal listeners to you, which is why, once again, point 1, cadence is important. The second thing that's important, if you want to focus in on this, is seeing the number of streams that you're getting on a monthly basis for the specific episode. And that's a very good metric for you to chart, because a lot of brands will also be asking me this question in the days to come. A really good, I would say, metric to feel proud of is your overall streams and your overall listens. The differentiation, I don't want to overcomplicate this. If you want more information, you can go to the resources section. But think about the overall listens as the top of your funnel, where basically it's every person that's coming and listening to your show. And if they're coming again within the same course of the day and listening to your show again, being able to understand all of that, even if they've listened to your show for 45 seconds, being able to track this and seeing this at the top of funnel metric just to see how far is your show actually reaching. It's a very important metric. And then your streams on the other side is also called a download. And a stream and download are interchangeable. And what this is it's more of an advertising focused metric, which basically has a lot of conditions that are created around it, in which somebody needs to listen for a specific duration, which is 1 minute. If the same person is coming and listening again, they will not be counted. And a whole host of other things that have been basically put together by IAB, which is the International Advertising Bureau. Hubhopper follows IAB protocol with all of its analytics. So all of our analytics that you see basically follow the rules and recommendations that are provided by IAB itself. And they're a part of the IAB Tech Lab. So if you go and get confused on the analytics section, don't feel afraid to reach out to us at any point. It can be a little bit daunting to begin with, which is why I'm telling you a couple of metrics to focus on, and then you can keep going deeper and deeper and deeper. And once you've gone through the resources, I'm sure a lot of this will start to become intuitive, and you'll be able to gather actionable insights on how to change and evolve your upcoming episodes on the basis of the data that's being provided to you. So these would be the 3 things which you should be thinking about with regards to what's next. And I hope you enjoyed that. Look forward to seeing you in the next one.